Today I'm going to be making the most delicious oatmeal raisin cookies I've ever had. They have butter and lots of raisins and they are so delicious, and let's get going. Oatmeal raisin cookies seem like they should be really easy because they've been around for a while, and yet they seem to be a very difficult cookie to get just right. I feel like I've found a perfect recipe to just sink your teeth in. The edges are crispy, there's lots of raisins, and they're just delicious. Interesting fact, this is from Wikipedia. The first recorded oatmeal cookie recipe was published in the United States by Fannie Merritt Farmer in her 1986 cookbook. I'm sorry, it's 1896, not 1996. So I have 2 sticks of butter, which is actually a half a pound. I did not get the grams on this, shoot. I'm going to put them in my mixing bowl. You can do this by hand, or you can also do them with a hand mixer. Now I'm going to cream this. This is about a 3-minute cream. You want to get it kind of light and fluffy, and as you go along you want to scrape the bowl. And you want to have it on medium high to high. There is a cup of sugar of each. 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of light sugar. That's 198 grams for each of these. You're going to put those in the bowl. And then you're going to turn it on down just a little bit and cream those together. And you want this to be well mixed together and kind of light and fluffy. Just scraping the sides and the bottom to make sure that everything's getting equally mixed. You're going to mix this for about 3 minutes this time. Okay, as you can see, this is kind of almost doubled in volume here. We're going to add the eggs one at a time. This is just a classic cookie recipe, basically. We're going to turn the speed down. You want it to be medium low to low. And then I'm going to add the other egg. Okay, while we're doing that, we're going to take the flour, which is 213 grams or 1.5 cups of flour. I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to turn this off. I don't want that to mix too much. And then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh nutmeg. If you don't have fresh nutmeg, that's okay. Just use the regular nutmeg that you can get in the grocery store. But I think this is kind of fun, so I'm going to just grind this. This is just a regular, I use it for everything that needs to be ground, and so I'm just going to get. And so you just want a 1/4 teaspoon, and you're going to put that in. I just take a little whisk and whisk that all together just briefly. It's going to mix together anyway, but it's nice to have it mixed before you put it in the cookie dough. And then I'm going to turn this way down, and I'm just going to start adding this. And let that mix up. Then I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I slow it down because flour poofs. You don't want poofing. Just make sure that all gets mixed up. But this recipe, it's really important to use the old-fashioned rolled oats because it gives them that chewy texture. And I haven't tried them with the quick oats, but I would anticipate that the binding would be too close together and not give you quite as much chew. So I'm going to very slowly turn this on. It's hard in a mixer like this to go too long, but I'm going to put the oats in. And I'm going to just turn this on slowly. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn that off. And now I'm gonna put the raisins in before I start beating this. And I'm just gonna let this go a little bit. It gets a little heavy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl to put this in and finish stirring it up. Okay, this is the... I'm going to take this off, just scrape it out. And that is it. So, this recipe says to use a piece of parchment paper. It says if you don't have parchment paper, not to worry about it, just use the cookie sheet. And if you do decide not to do it with the parchment paper, leave the cookies after you get done cooking on the sheet for about 2 minutes before you try to take them off. It helps crisp up that bottom. So this is a 2-inch ice cream scoop. I like having the uniformity of the size, and so I just use this for everyone. I'm going to give them a scoop, and I'm going to, this makes about 24 cookies, because these do spread out quite a bit, and I don't want them the edges touching. And then sometimes when the cookies are this fat, I kind of push them down with my hands wet. You don't want to do this with these because of the way they cook. The middle stays kind of gooey, and so I don't want to mess with the way these are going to cook by themselves. So we're going to put these in a 350 oven for, I'm going to start with about 16 minutes, and we're going to see what they look like. They should be golden brown on the outside and almost look like they're not done on the inside. And we'll take a look at these once they finish cooking. Okay, so those look exactly like they're supposed to look. I'm going to take those and show you how to get them onto that pan, but I am doing 1 pan of cookies without the parchment paper, and we're going to see how these look, and I'll show you how to get these off of the pan. Okay, we're going to put these in for 15 minutes because that seems to be the magic time. Okay, so the way you get these off, be very careful, and you're just going to line this pan up with the other pan, and I just take them and slide them over, and you're going to let them cool off for about a half an hour, believe it or not, and then take them off. Okay, here we go. So these have been cooked for 15 minutes and 30 seconds. And they look perfect. I'm going to give them about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and then we're going to take them off of this pan. Okay, let's take a look at these, see if they're coming off. Okay, so what you don't want to have happen is when you move these, they stretch and change their shape. And so this looks good. So we're going to take those off. So there's a perfectly brown cookie. This is, whoops, this is one from the no parchment paper, and they both look equally delicious. So that's it today, and I thank you for joining us, and I'm so happy to be back. Thank you.